Hi everyone, I hope you're doing great and I hope you've been really great. This is Felicitas Gloria once again. I want to apologize. I've really taken a long time without actually recording anything or uploading any content. However, this is something that I've really wanted to address for a very long time, and I'm very grateful to God that He has actually given me the opportunity and the platform to be able to address this. So many of us face scams every day. I mean, it's like every day that scams are increasing day in, day out. And this is because we do not have anyone that actually warns us about these things. You're just from campus, you're fresh graduates, and you have a lot of expectations for the world. I mean, we all know scams are there, though you cannot actually, it's like scammers are becoming better each and every single day. And you cannot actually know what is new in the market, which kind of scam is trending right now, because it's like scams also have trends one of these days. Yeah. So this is the issue that I actually want to address about the different scams that are going on, both internationally and even here in Uganda where I'm right now. It's like people have actually made a business and they're earning, and I don't know why we fall victim of these scams, even though we know scams are actually there, but we still fall victim of them. So at least it helps if you know 10 or 3 or even 2 scams. It can help you to at least not fall into that trap. So I just actually even made like some little notes about it, and there are these 4 scams that I have experienced, and I talk out of experience. And the first one is ADP Garcia International Recruitment. So this, they come as, they even have a website. It's very well designed. You go on Google, for example. Now, at first I was looking at maybe jobs abroad and not here in Uganda where I am. So you put in to apply and they bring for you a list of agencies. And among those agencies, there was ADP International Recruitment. So it looked legit. The website was okay. And I was like, oh, okay, let me take the chance. And I went ahead, and then they reply. They actually, they are very friendly. They reply and they even give you someone to manage your account. And the person was called Ann Wilson. I can't even forget. And she was so sweet. She was so nice. She ushered me into it. And they even have this thing where they say, we do not ask for any money. We do not ask for any money. We are going to give you an invitation. So when you hear such things, you're like, And they're like, as an agency, we earn from the company. So we do not really need any money from the client. So I was like, okay, this is really great, it works for me. So we continued talking. So after the first stage, she sent another email, of course, after sharing my details. So it got very funny, whereby I shared my details the first time, and then she's like, okay, can you share the details again in another email? And that's like after 2 days. I'm like, this is weird, but then I'm like, okay. Then I shared again, and then after some time, she's like, you need a medical test. And they talked of many things. They even include some things. And since you do not have a clue of the kind of things you may need when you're going to work abroad, of course, you may have made your research, but given the fact that it's your first time, you could have that maybe, maybe this is also needed, maybe this is also required. So I went ahead and continued to check up with her. But then my mom told me, medical test. She's like, I don't think no one should be strict about the kind of medical test you should take. If they are, they'll refer you to the kind of hospital that they want you to go to, and then you go there and get the medical test, right? And she's like, that is really weird. So they want you to pay the money, so how they get for you a medical test? Then that would not be legit. It would make more sense if you yourself actually went to the hospital and got a genuine medical test, because how will they know the kind of complications and issues you have? So that was the first point. Of course, I was so excited. I'm like, okay, mom is not understanding these things, maybe. But it's always good to listen to parents. So actually I searched on Google, but it was not giving me very clear information at first. Then I put in YouTube. They were bringing some videos, but it was not so clear. So I just put ADP International Recruitment Scam. And that's when I went to Facebook, and I was seeing a number of reviews of people that have actually gone through the same scams. So don't worry, I may be talking a lot, but I'll make sure I put the full names in the description below. I'll make sure I put everything that you need to know. I'll make sure I put the full names. If possible, I'll even put for you the links so that you really don't fall prey of this. Then another one that we have is the UNHCR. You know how UNHCR is a very respected organization. So there are funny people that are actually making a scam out of it. And you may not see it coming, because this is a very big organization. You would not expect anyone to even dare to do that. So what these people do, they send you they tell you, thank you very much for applying. But the funny thing is that when you're applying for jobs, it reaches a time and you're really applying for many jobs, you do not even remember which job you've applied for. So when they send you something like that, you're like, I think I applied sometime, and I said finance assistant, you get. So I was like, okay, the finance assistant, since most jobs do on-job training, I was like, no, I think there could be a possibility. If there is any qualifications that they need that are extra, perhaps they will tell me to get them, because they have already given me, it was like an invitation. Yeah. So I was so excited. In fact, I saw the email like 10 days after they had sent it. I was so sad I even had to pray. Can you imagine? I prayed to God. I'm like, God, please help me so that I may be able to get the opportunity to be able to get this job. I was so excited. I told my mom about it. Like, I was super happy about this. But then I first kept quiet after that. I just gave her a hint. I'm like, there is this and this that I've got. But then in my heart, I was like, maybe she'll discourage me that it's a scam. So I said, let me first try out this job. So after them sending me that, I replied back, and shockingly, like, it was today, the next day they replied at around 1 p.m. And then she was telling me it's fine, it's okay, because I apologized. I said it was in spam, so I did not see it. And then she accepted the apology. And then after that, she immediately, it was so funny, she immediately sent me we didn't do even an interview. So that's where I was a bit skeptical. I'm like, okay, we have not done an interview. But then she sent these kind of forms that you fill in when you've actually gotten a job. Like, it was an employee assessment form. Yes. So I filled in the form, and then she told me to get there is a certain test that she told me. Let me see if I've written it down. It's called IGIPS. IGIPS. She told me I needed to do that test. So I thought, okay, maybe of course, I knew it would cost money, but I went to check. Then she sent me a link, and she's like, you can use this or any website of your choice. So you see, they do not give you that gap to suspect. They even give you like that free word to be like, okay, I can actually use any other website. So I think they're legit. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and try this out, only to check when it's 200 euros. So of course now, since the money came in, I had to tell my mom. I'm like, you know what, mom, you remember the opportunity I told you about? She's like, yeah. Then I told her, so they actually want me to do this test. When parents are working and also prayerful, of course she can suspect something. She told me, no, that is wrong. She's like, any respectable company, especially a company as big as UN, if they wanted you to take a test that cost that much, they would facilitate it either on job, like they send you already the papers when they've already bought it from the company, and they just send you like how you see they get this first assessment test. That is what they would do. And she told me, no, it's wrong, it's a scam. Of course, I argued. I'm like, no, I was angry. I'm like, is it the money? Then I was like, okay, Felicitas, why are you arguing? So I decided to actually go online to get more information about it. And when I went online to get information about it, boom, I just realized this was a scam. It was a very detailed report, and people were giving like testimonials. I actually did that. I also took the test. I was so excited, and they even used the same position, by the way, assistant finance officer. She's like, I went ahead, I took the test only to realize it's a scam. So if you come across UNHCR, it's a very legit organization, but you should be careful, because there are counterfeits now that are taking advantage of the situation. Yeah, so be alert. People in the job market, jobs are very lost, and now people are trying to do very funny things, taking advantage of other people to make money. So you have to be very careful. And then there is this one called Super Jobs Career Consultants. Yeah, for those that want to go abroad, and they put this situation of we have both skilled and unskilled. So sometimes you don't want to go maybe abroad. Some people will be like, no, I would rather stay in my country and do something I've studied for. So they are giving you the option that even when you go to another country, you're actually going to do something you've studied for. So of course, everyone would want that opportunity. You, especially if you're someone that loves traveling like me. So of course, I jumped onto the opportunity. They have a website, so I tried to make research since, of course, I had already tested the other few scams. I made research. I'm like, okay, this time I do not want to fall prey of this stupidity again. So after making research, I did not really find anything that was contradicting them. So I'm like, okay, fine. I put in my CV. They even took a long time to reply. I think 1 month and some few weeks. I'm like, okay, this is legit. So I just wake up on one Sunday morning and I'm seeing an email. At first I was like, why would anyone send me an email on Sunday? It's not even a working day, but I don't know how agencies work. So I said, okay. I read it and they're like, congratulations, you've got a job as an advertising sales representative. They mentioned the company. They said it's in Luxembourg. I'm like, oh my God, God, you've answered. The prayers I say that Sunday were just different. I was so excited. At first, I didn't want to tell my mom because I knew, of course, she would tell me it's a scam. So I first came home. I got organized myself, sat down. So the first thing that made me a bit worried was they gave me a form, like a contract. But then the things they were asking in the contract were not making sense. I'm an advertising sales representative, but you're asking me for the size of my glove. And I'm like, okay, do we use gloves? Is this door to door? Like, I don't understand it. But then the role that they were telling me, I believed it's something that those are not the duties that we would do. So I said, this is weird. Then in my mind, I'm like, maybe it's a general form whereby they'll send it to the employer and maybe the employer will choose what they want. And then another thing is that instead of giving you the form at once, they were giving you steps. Then I'm like, okay, since it's a consultancy, maybe they have a way they do their things. So, of course, I was like, okay, I'm not going to interrupt it. Let it be. Yeah, then the thing that actually gave them out was the Greek medical test. So, the Greek medical test actually exists, but I don't know how these guys are making counterfeits and they're not facing the law, like they're not facing those copyright issues. They made a counterfeit of the Greek medical test, and there is actually a website where you go onto the website and it will really look like it's the Greek medical test. So I'm like, okay, now again paying. And then they were mentioned, these ones were even too much. I think it was somewhere like I think around 300. The money was a lot. And I'm like, okay, for just a test, really? Can they just, and they were saying they want to check my mental stability. And I'm like, okay, that's weird. But I'm like, if you want to check my mental stability, we also have very good mental institutions. Like here, you can tell me, it just didn't make sense. So I went again to Facebook. Facebook is really good. People just keep on putting random comments over there. Only to check, and people are really giving testimonials. Yeah, me, I paid for it. It didn't come out. I'm like, okay, so these guys are also a scam. So when they saw that I had ignored them, recently they have been sending me a lot of emails. They're like, okay, we picked certain interest in your profile and we are deciding to give you the medical test for free. There is no hospital. I think sometimes scammers also are stupid. There is no hospital that can just pick interest in your profile and give you a free medical test like that. So of course that really confirmed that it's a scam. And so there is this fourth one. It's called Katale, and this one is in Uganda. So I was home, and then it's on LinkedIn. You can imagine. So of course I was like, I know there are many scammers, but perhaps since it's here, it would be what? It would be genuine. I went ahead, I filled in, I put in my application, and after some time, the man got to me. It's called Frank Mogisha. He emailed me back. He said, email me on this WhatsApp for an interview. I'm like, okay. So, text me on my WhatsApp number for an interview. I said, okay, fine. So I texted him, and then all of it, he didn't even give me an interview. He just gave me briefing. So I'm like, okay, was he so excited about my resume? Was my resume very good that he does not even need to take me through an interview? But of course I ignored it. I'm like, okay. I signed a contract, I told mom was like, oh, okay, it's a good job because it allows you to work from home and you don't really need to go to office. So I'm like, okay, these are the kind of jobs that I want. But then they said you can be able to go to office maybe like 2 days, around 2 days, and then the rest of the 3 days you're home. I'm like, this works for me. It gives you time, and according to the description, it would give you time to work on your own pace. So I was like, okay, this definitely is my thing. Wow. I didn't know that it's also a scam. And you know what really hurt me is how you even tell your friends, because this was a thing. It is an online shopping platform, but for vegetables, fruits, just food, just not food you would cook, fruits and all those things. That is what it's about, you Katale. So they said, since for you a sales executive, you're not going to do like these normal sales where so they're like, you have to sell accounts. So they made me think like I'm doing premium, you get, I'm dealing with premium clients. So I'm like, okay, my people are lazy here, they are lazy to go to the market. I'll definitely. So they're like, for an account, a single user is 30,000, and then they went on like that, family, business, and all those things. So my mom was so happy about the opportunity, but God really speaks through parents. You should listen to them. So she said, you know what, let me first subscribe to it myself before you go out in the field and talk about it. But of course, I was too excited. I'm like, okay, even if they're not paying now, at least let me let them be aware, so that in case. I started telling people, I'm even